MGTOW versus PUA. To start here, MGTOW versus PUA stands for, MGTOW means men going their own way, PUA stands for pickup artist. I wanted to add a quick little thing. Some guys were asking me about this Richard Cooper versus Greg Adams. I guess you could call it a feud they had on Twitter. And this is not what this video is going to mostly be about. This is just a quick blurb, and then the video is going to be discussing kind of my journey from PUA to MGTOW. But I just wanted to put this in there because basically, if you didn't see it, Entrepreneurs in Cars, Richard Cooper, he had a tweet that kind of dissed MGTOW. Coach Greg Adams replied and stuck up for MGTOW basically, and then they just got into a little back and forth. And I watched Coach Greg Adams. He did a video on this, and I just noticed in the comments that a lot of guys were like, "Oh, you know, if they liked one guy more than the other, they were gonna unsubscribe to the other person." And I guess my whole thing here is that with so much division already in the world, in my personal opinion, is you don't have to choose sides on this. If you take value from both of these guys, then keep watching both of them, because overall, both of these men are doing a ton of good as a whole for men. I just personally, I've watched videos from both these guys. And if I had to choose a side, if someone made me choose, my man, Coach Greg Adams all day, because I just love everything he stands for, the free agent lifestyle, all of that, man. And I consider myself MGTOW, so I have that bias, and he's just very all-around solid. But I've watched a lot of Richard Cooper's videos too, and he has some great advice as well. Some really good RedPill knowledge for men. So my whole thing was here is hey, if you want to choose sides, great. But if you're on the fence, you don't have to choose, guys. You know, both of these men are doing a lot of good for men as a whole. That's my take on it. And then the rest of this video is just going to kind of share my own journey, because I used to be probably what you would call a pickup artist. And I guess I transformed a little bit throughout my life, and I now consider myself MGTOW. So that's what this video is going to be about. But this was just my little thing: is hey, both of these guys are good stuff, and if you haven't heard of either of them, then go subscribe to both. And I personally love Coach Greg Adams. I hope to someday do a collab with him, because he's very, very solid, and I love his outlook on things. But all right, on to the rest of the video. And this is going to be a fun video, because I definitely get comments where people are like, "You're not MGTOW, you're PUA." Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but this is my point of view, my video, on PUA versus MGTOW, the difference, how do I see myself, and then of course you're entitled to your own opinion. You're going to say it anyway, so may as well just start it in the comments below. So the first thing here is pickup artists. To me, the big difference between MGTOW and pickup artists is pickup artists, it's everything you kind of do is about getting women's attention, getting their affection. And to start, I will absolutely admit that for a long period of my time, that is where my mindset was. When I was 18 is when I first learned about you can develop your skills with women. I was reading stuff, I was watching videos, I was taking courses that pickup artists would do. I remember one of the first books I read was The Mystery Method, The Game by Neil Strauss. I started with a lot of pickup stuff. And because to a guy, I did not have attention from women. I was always in the friend zone. So when I found out there was a way to talk to women, you better bet it got me fired up. So I would have considered myself a pickup artist in my early college years. So from about 18 to 22 maybe, everything I was doing, it was everything was about women. Everywhere I'd go, I'd be who am I going to meet tonight? Who am I going to take home tonight? That was my mindset. It truly was. It was all about women getting their attention, getting their validation, right? Okay, now, things changed for me. And again, I didn't know about the MGTOW label until just recently. But when I started my career as a public school teacher, and I taught second grade for 5 years. When I started my career there, one of the first years, I was picking up a girl at the bar, 2 women actually, and they happened to be one of their sons was in my reading group class at school. And then that little information got around to some of my coworkers, and they were giving me a hard time about it. And so from that point on, I was like, oh, whoa, I got to be more careful. All right, because I got a career now. Now, is my career, as I got more invested, that's all I cared about was my teaching career, helping kids, all that stuff. I was so motivated in that. That is, to me, when I would have totally abolished the pickup artist label, because I started to plan all my things, all my, my scheduling around myself. It wasn't anything about women. If a woman wanted to hang out, it didn't matter to me because I was focused on my career. That was my next move. I'd rather read books about classroom management and how to get along with kids better and how to understand, certain diagnoses in kids and mental health and all that stuff, right? I was fired up about that. So my label changed. From there, my mindset shifted from everything's about women to okay, there's more to life. And so that is where my transition took place. Now, I've still dated throughout this entire time. I have learned so much stuff that can help the average guy with women. Even if you are a guy that considers yourself a MGTOW monk, you never want to date a woman, that's totally fine. I don't care. That's your choice. That's what being a man going his own way is about, is making your own choices. However, when you come to my channel, it is about how to get better with women, how to attract women, and how to kind of live that bachelor life. So therefore, if you're watching this video, every time you come to my channel, it's going to seem like all I talk about is women, because that's what my channel is about. But understand that probably 98% of my life is not about women. It's doing this channel, this business is about helping guys. It's not about going around picking up women. Now, here's why I think this is important. Because honestly, I don't think I could have been this firm in my stance about just caring about my life, improving my life, working on my life, and letting other people fit into it. I don't think I could have ever got to this point if I didn't go through that pickup artist phase, because for a while, it's if you never have attention from women, if you never get attention from women, even though you can sit here and go, yeah, I don't need it, I don't care, I don't want it. It's different if you come from a place of well, I've never had it and I don't need it, versus I've experienced it all and then I was able to evolve and move on to the next part of my life. So to any guys watching this, and I try to be more clear about this now, it's if you want to stay away from women, not date women, I understand. These days there are so many if you want to actually attract a woman and get her to respect you, there's so many rules and all that, because of how brainwashed our society's been with feminism and toxic masculinity and all that crap. There's so many hoops to jump through to learn to do it the right way that I understand it's too much work for a lot of guys. That's why I don't, if you're watching this video, I don't care if you never want to date women or you do, right? That's your decision. But what my job is to do is I'm going to try to help guys avoid the traps. I'm going to help guys learn how to come off as a confident man and own your frame at all points in the game, because then and only then do you unlock that new kind of world where you are living on your purpose. You're living for what you feel is right. And so to me, again, MGTOW is about finding a purpose, finding a passion, devoting your attention to it, thinking about yourself, your life situation. It's like the oxygen mask thing in an airplane. If you need to put on your own oxygen mask before you help anyone else, that's kind of how I feel with MGTOW. It's you got to figure out what's best for your life, put on your oxygen mask before you try to, and a lot of guys do this backwards, right? They'll kind of figure out, okay, what's best for this girl? How would she feel about this? How would my parents feel about this? How would my friends feel about this, right? They're living for other people. They're not putting on their oxygen mask first. That to me is what MGTOW is. But can you date women and be MGTOW? I 100% say you can. Because again, I do it on my terms. I'm going my own way. If a girl wants to come over at 11:30 p.m. after I've done a bunch of work and all that, and she's cool with coming over, and we're just gonna have a good time and be respectful with each other, awesome. I enjoy hanging out with women, and one thing is, and I love hanging out with my guys, but there is a difference between men and women too. It's like when you're with your guy friends, it's always constantly, it's like that kind of male thing where you always kind of test each other. You put people in check. If someone says something stupid, you call each other out. That is a fun part about being a guy. It's like hanging with the guys. But what I like about being with the women is the women that I'm around with are very submissive. And that's fun too, to have that. It's not like when I hang out with all my guy friends, it's not like every single thing I say, they're like hanging on all my words. Like, not at all. We're just guys. We're just normal people. But when I'm with women, it's a different scenario. That leader-follow scenario is what I really enjoy. I love that. I love having that mix in my life. Someday, may I go MGTOW monk? I don't know, maybe. But right now, I'm a single guy doing what I like to do. My purpose right now is helping other guys get to this point. Get to this point where if you want to date women, you can. If you decide you don't want to date women, that's cool too. But getting to that point where you're comfortable with your decision, that's kind of where I see my mission in here. So again, some guys call me a PUA, a pickup artist. I am going to give you all the tips and tricks so you don't make mistakes if you choose to go that route. But the overall goal that I see is like, hey man, do what you want to do. If you want to hang out with women, hang out with them. If you don't want to hang out with women, don't hang out with them. But figure out what you want and go for it. That is you going your own way. Anyway, I'm excited to hear some of the comments. I know I'm going to have some of you guys come after me for this one, and that's okay, because again, I have an opinion, you have an opinion, and if you're a MGTOW policeman out there trying to go around policing everyone else, you're not really doing your own thing. You're not really living your own life. You're trying to live other people's life for them. So the best way I can say it is, hey, do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do, but be informed of the risks. Be informed of, hey, if you want to hang out with a girl and you text her back way too quickly, she's not going to like you. It's just biology. It's psychology. And I'm here to share that type of stuff with you. And I wanted to make this video kind of clear because I'm going to bounce around between giving kind of dating advice and kind of doing the bachelor life stuff, because that is literally how my life goes. That's what I know. And if you're here just for MGTOW content, great. You know what? I'll probably make a playlist so you can just watch that and you don't have to worry about the rest. If you're here for texting advice or online dating advice, I'm going to have a playlist for those so that you can easily kind of come and sift through your own stuff. But I wanted to make it clear about where I stand with that, and that is that I consider myself MGTOW, a man going my own way. I don't have any aspirations of getting married or a long-term relationship. One guy that I really look up to is Nikola Tesla. Now, I know that he did not hang out with women and all that, and that's awesome. That's cool. That would be like the MGTOW monk mode. He's an idol of mine. Anyway, let me know. Let me know your comments. Some of you might be a little harsh on this one. Hey, others of you might have my back. But you know what? The best part is just understanding to, it's so cliche, like finding yourself, Find yourself. This works for me. This lifestyle works for me. Dating around, doing my thing, researching on the side, doing my business, that works for me. There are some people in my life that I really think that the MGTOW life, or any life away from even having relationships with women or long-term or marriage, I think that some guys just don't want that or don't care about that lifestyle at all, and that's okay. That's fine. That's their decision. We can only help who wants to be helped. And if you're one of those guys that's in a relationship or you still want a girlfriend, I'm going to help you do it the best way. But just understand, the most important thing, put that oxygen mask on yourself first. Think about yourself. What's best for your life before you indulge in all these other things for other people. There's a little quick snippet about MGTOW versus PUA. Been wanting to do this video for a few weeks now, and so here we go. Let's see what happens in the comments. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe. Peace.